Pokemon Sent Me to Japan by Jaiden Animations. It has been quite some time since Jaiden Animations, first of all, made a video. Second of all, made a video on like a story time as opposed to like a gameplay experience. So I'm ready to listen to this, man. Pokemon Sent Me to Japan. I wonder what she's talking about. Now, this video is a little long. So despite what I tell y'all about how I'm not about to just sit in silence and I'm about to pause whenever I got to say something, I'm gonna keep pausing to a minimum on this one because, you know, the video already 32 minutes long on its own, you know what I'm saying? I ain't saying I won't pause, but I'm gonna keep it to a minimum. Without further ado, let's get it.
Remember when Pokemon sent me every single one of their Gen 5 sitting cuties for me to rank? Turns out,
Really?
they really liked that video. So much.
I don't remember that video.
Said, hey Jaiden, awesome video. Why don't you come to Japan to watch the Pokemon 2023 World Championship?
Oh.
Our treat. You won't have to pay for your
Right?
flights or hotel or nothing.
Whoa.
I've been to Japan once before.
That's fire.
And it was back in 2018 with my family. We did a bunch
I remember that
of
story.
Japanese tourist things. It was a phenomenal trip. But ever since then, I've always wanted to go back and do all the awesome.
Oh, she's only ever been the one time?
To offer that I didn't want to bother
Hatsune
my
Miku.
family with. At the time, they didn't even know who Luffy was. They would have been so
Oh
lost.
my
So when
goodness.
Pokemon extended their hand and offered to fly not only
Real quick, I was just talking about it, but listen, man. Her parents don't know who Luffy was. I bet her parents knew who Goku was. I'm just saying, I have this conversation all the time with some of my friends about which anime is more iconic. I got some friends that really try to tell me that One Piece is more iconic than Dragon Ball. Cap! I'm not trying to talk down on One Piece, but more iconic than Dragon Ball? Yeah, no. Guarantee your parents know who Goku is.
only me, but Jacob.
Just wanted to put that out there.
Biggest Pokemon tournament in the world. I jumped for joy. Free trip to Japan. The tournament.
Oh, Alpha's going too?
On for a single weekend, but Jacob and I plan to stay there for 3 whole weeks to do a bunch of.
Hell yeah!
stuff.
You don't go to
We
Japan for
were-
a couple days.
Eventually, the time came. Jacob and I were packing up.
Gotta
all
go for
our
a few
stuff
weeks
and
to a
decided
month.
We both would bring an extra suitcase so we could treat ourselves a bit and buy a bunch of cool stuff while we're there. Don't judge us. We're anime and Nintendo loving impulse buyers going to Japan.
With big
A game
YouTube
plan
money.
was needed. We
Buying
were
everything. Everything I see, I'm buying
2
it.
extra suitcases was definitely gonna be enough. Yep. Equipped with our extra luggage, we headed off to the airport. Pokemon straight up gave us business class seats.
Oh
We didn't
my
ask for them
goodness.
Or anything. So when we boarded, we realized we had the seats where you could lay down. There even was some sort of seat divider that acted like a car window, so I could roll it down and bother Jacob whenever I wanted.
Oh,
Quick
wow.
little 11-hour flight later, and we were in Japan. It was time to have the best trip of our lives. I'm not joking. I had the most incredible trip and got to
Oh, yeah.
won't ever forget. And I
For sure. I want to go
because
so
I've now
bad.
plastered it onto the internet forever. We landed in Japan time, so we decided to go to the first thing we wanted to see while abroad. Japanese McDonald's. I couldn't order any
Look, yeah.
fries, but Jacob and I both dropped our jaws when we saw something called the Double Big Mac on the menu.
The
I thought
Double
America
Big
was
Mac?
going big with the Big Mac, but Japan did the impossible just to send a message.
Wow.
Place. Let's begin with the next morning.
The
Pokemon
Double
planned
Big
a
Mac.
bunch of cool stuff for the creators and partners they flew out, beginning with a group field trip to the Mega Tokyo Pokemon Center. Jacob and I
Okay.
woke up early for it and missed the bus they had for us. And
Wow.
It wasn't completely my fault.
Woke up
entirely
early.
because I hypothetically didn't read the schedule correctly and was taking my sweet time getting ready. Why would you think that? So we had to take the trains on our way to
Damn.
get there. Anyone that remembers my first Japan trip knows the trains were me and my family's mortal enemy number
Yes,
one.
I remember.
We kept getting it wrong, and it was failure after failure the entire trip. You'd think that with
My
all that prior
goodness.
experience and struggle, I would have grown as a Japanese train understander, right?
Nah.
Nope, we got on the wrong train.
Oh
But
my
at least we were having
goodness.
A good time.
Alpha rat bad as hell.
Out and mental strain and regrets. We finally arrived at our destination, and although by the time we got there they had already finished looking at the Pokemon Center, we were able to have a quick snack with the group at the Pokemon Sweets Cafe. I meant to take a
Okay.
picture of the Pikachu waffle before I ate half its cranium, but I forgot, so this is what you get. Now that we were with the
Hey.
group, we were able to travel with them for the rest of the day, so we packed into the bus and headed off to a traditional tea ceremony where we were taught all about how the tea masters would make tea and tea
Oh, okay.
etiquette and all these things about the significance of tea in Japanese culture. All
They really
while
love tea
getting
over
to
there.
taste the tea master made. Again, I meant to take this picture before I took a chunk out of the little sweet they gave us, but here we are yet again. I'm just not that great at this. They also served us a really
I want the
special
freshly
bunch of
brewed green
super
tea.
fancy bento boxes. Like, so fancy that the host was like, dude, I've never even had these bento boxes before. I was super
Oh.
excited, But I don't mean to be ungrateful or wasteful, but the box was full of super fancy, complicated fish and seafood. I knew going to Japan I'd have to be flexible with food because it's really hard to be vegan or even vegetarian there. So I really tried to eat as much as possible and look thankful. But yeah, I struggled a lot. But I still had a great time and it was an honor.
Is Jaiden Animations vegan? Why did I not know that?
To explore a bit until dinner in a few hours. Everyone separated into groups.
Or vegetarian, whichever one it is.
The guy that sent me all the sitting cuties, you guys remember him. The guy named Steve and I went and pursued the street food route before stumbling into a little arcade with a bunch of crane machines. I got a silly little bear minifigure.
I'm in the arcade for like 5 hours.
I decided to innocently carry him around in my pocket for the entirety of the trip, you know, because it was silly. This single action severely changed the course of my mental stability going forward. You'll see soon enough. But look at the cute photos I got with them. We had a great dinner, headed back to the hotel, got to hang out with our good old Pokemon rival Jan a bit, and called it a night. The next day we all got to do
I want to go so bad,
at
bro.
the Pokemon World's pop-up shop. I'll just say we bought way too much stuff that we also don't regret in the slightest.
Not at all. Not at all.
Grabbing more and more sitting cuties as the workers kept reorganizing them to keep the display looking perfect. We walked out of there with 3 giant bags of stuff. But it's okay.
Not enough.
Remember, we
need more.
This with our extra suitcases, which I am starting to wonder if they are going to be enough. But surely we will come down.
I'm just saying, bruh. If I'm a big YouTuber and I got bread, I'm breaded up. Y'all know these big YouTubers like Jaiden and Alpharad. They breaded up, bruh. Bank accounts fat as hell. It's not even a question. I'm buying everything, dog. Everything I look at that I even slightly like. Oh, let me go ahead and get that. Man, I'm not even like a shopper like that. I don't really go shopping like that. In my impulse buying, I'm able to control it for the most part. But I'm telling you, don't give me a grandiose amount of money because I'm gonna be spending that. I'm gonna be spending that, bro, on stuff like that. The important stuff that you really need, nah, I'll hold off on buying that. But random trinkets and toys and shit that are just fun to play with for a little bit. Oh yeah, I need all of them. I need all of them.
All taken to the creatures office.
Need all of them.
You know, just the place where they make Pokemon cards. It was gorgeous in there.
Oh, you got to watch the process?
Awesome sculptures of giant Pokemon cards with crystals, and all the walls were lined with 3D card art. It felt like I was in a building with a lot of significance. Because I was.
We got
a tour around the building, met the TCG card testers, and were able to ask them questions about their process. Even got to have a little Q&A session with Atsushi Nagashima, the game director of the Pokemon TCG. It was funny. One of the people in our group asked how they chose which Pokemon to make cards for. A good question. And then followed it up with, I really like Mantike, but there's only 2 Mantike cards that exist. And the assistant pulled up a list of all the Pokemon Mantike cards that have ever been created. And sure enough, there were only 2.
Damn.
The director chuckled and was essentially like,
hold on. What did I say down in the corner?
There were
They've since made another.
only 2.
Okay.
The director
Hope it was because of that guy.
was essentially like, yeah, sometimes Pokemon get lost in the cracks. We kind of just make cards of Pokemon I like. For example, my favorite Pokemon is Gengar. And you know what? That actually makes a lot of sense.
There's a hella Gengar cards.
We were able to have a Q&A session with the Pokemon card art director and 3 artists who actually draw art for the cards.
Ooh.
That was super interesting, and I was so incredibly
especially for Jaiden since she does art.
Those Pokemon cards with the super cute clay art. That artist's name is Yuka Mori, and she was in that panel. I was so starstruck. Those are some of my favorite Pokemon cards.
I'm sure.
And not only that, but she hosted a little workshop for us where she gave us clay and taught us how to make little clay Magnemites like in this card here. Speaking of this card, she brought the actual original Magnemite for us to see. That was by far the coolest thing that I've ever gotten to be a part of. We got to meet a piece of genuine history. I felt like I was meeting the president.
Bro, that's so neat.
Jacob's Magnemites that we made. Day 3 of our little Pokemon field trip, and we were taken to another Pokemon Center. This time in Shibuya, which was also right across from a Nintendo store. It was like a bullet was shot through our credit card.
Buying everything.
In the shopping center, I saw
need it
a
all.
Gacha machine with little miniature Chiikawa plushes. I was only interested in getting Chiikawa, but I
don't know if you ever watched that video where Dashi
and I got him.
went to Japan, but he was buying everything, bro.
Yes,
that's me.
The original was still in my pocket. You can safely assume he is in my pocket for the entirety of this video. I've got pictures to prove it. Jacob snapped this awesome picture of the Chiikawa brain rot taking over. When we were looking around in the Shonen Jump shop, a little Japanese boy
gotta go in there.
at Jacob and went, Sanji-san before his mother
Sanji-san.
away, and I still to this day laugh at that interaction.
That is hilarious.
First blonde guy in real life and immediately thought it was Sanji.
Oh yeah, because they're in Japan, so they don't ever see people that are blonde because everyone in Japan, you know, it's kind of, I've spoken about this before, but it's kind of weird. Like when you go to other countries, you don't realize that other countries are full of a majority of one nationality. They have other people too, but like America, you go outside right now, you see people of all different nationalities and shit walking all over the place. Just the great melting pot is what they call America. You go to Japan, for the most part, you're gonna see Japanese people, black hair, black eyes, or brown eyes, you know what I'm saying, dark brown, whatever color it is. That's what you're gonna see. Now you might see some people with their hair dyed, and to be honest, you probably see a lot of visitors and stuff too. So you probably see a lot of people from America and all that too. But for the most part, bro, it's mostly Japanese people over there. Go figure. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's actually not that surprising that little boy might not have seen anyone blonde before. So he sees Alpharad, and the first thing he thinks of is Sanji. Sanji, that's hilarious, bro.
We also got to attend the Pokemon Symphony, where a live orchestra played Pokemon songs.
It's easy for us Americans to forget that it's like that in other countries.
Video game orchestras are so cool. It always tugs on my heartstrings to see video game music transformed into such a beautiful new art form. Highly recommend attending one if you have any favorite games or franchises. On to the first day of Worlds. It was exciting. People flooded into the venue. We watched the opening ceremony in the crowd.
Yeah.
Wow. This is the whole reason why we're here. We went back to shopping. Look at this cute little takeoff book I found in a nearby bookstore. At this point, we were absolutely pushing it in terms of luggage space, and we were
if you're not really into the Pokemon TCG, you ain't trying to watch the Worlds.
At this point, we're very not frugal, so we cut our losses and bought 2 extra giant suitcases to fit everything better. Okay, we knew we were gonna need extra suitcases. Getting a few extra couldn't hurt. Look, the flights were paid for. We were still saving money at this point, I think. That's my rationalization. I'm going with that. Also in the mall were tons of Pokemon monitors straight up playing the World Championships. TCG, Pokemon Go, VGC. Japan treated Worlds like it was the Super Bowl. And it was just
video
so
card
cool
game. Oh yeah, they do have that.
My main interests so culturally celebrated. People of all ages would stop by to watch for a bit before going back to their shopping. I can't explain it, but it just made me very happy. We even got to see Wolfie live on the monitors.
Oh!
How'd he do? He did great. Don't worry about it. Nothing happened. Look, we were happy to see our friend on the Pokeball screen. Proud of you, Wolfie. You're so cool. The second day of Worlds was hype. So hype that we left Yokohama and flew to Osaka. I haven't mentioned it yet, but we actually got tickets to see the one and only Hatsune Miku live in concert. The real ones know how huge that is for me.
Yes, fire!
Changing that was, but I'm gonna make a whole separate video about that experience.
Okay.
Next. All I'm gonna say is, it was the best day of my entire life.
I don't listen to Hatsune Miku personally, but I know how big of a deal it is. I know how big of a deal it is. That's crazy.
Later that night,
and I'd go if I had the chance.
Lost again. And we never get better at it. Don't expect anything to change in that regard. We did finally get back to Yokohama, crashed for the night, and had a nice slow morning as we got ready for finals later that day. To any One Piece fans who are caught up, we were in Japan for the One Piece anime episode. You know what I'm talking about. 1072. We were able to turn on 1072 hotel TV and watch it.
I don't know what episode that was.
And that was so cool.
Was that Gear 5?
Talk about how much I love One Piece much. Mainly
I don't watch One Piece.
Really come up. But One Piece's peak, and it was an honor to be in Japan at such an iconic part.
But if that was Gear 5 episode, then yeah.
Anyway, back to Pokemon. Sorry about that. We were able
to
let
me know.
The final VGC match live. Got to chat and eat dinner with Wolfie and some other friends. Had a late night hangout with Jan again. And that was about it. Day 7 meant it was time to pack up all our stuff from the hotel, say goodbye to Pokemon and Yokohama, and head on over to the apartment we rented for the rest of our stay just outside of Tokyo. At this point, we had filled up all 6 suitcases and multiple backpacks. I didn't mention it, but Pokemon gave us a truckload of gifts that we genuinely had no idea what to do with. We're grateful nonetheless. Thank you, Pokemon.
Look at the basketball.
But yeah, the taxi ride was a bit awkward. So are you meeting up with some friends? No. After we got situated in the new place, we decided to look around the area and grab some lunch. And I gotta say, the little hole-in-the-wall restaurant Jacob found was some of the best ramen I've ever had.
Oh, come on,
ever.
man. Don't say that.
Vegetarian for me, which was extremely kind.
Now I want some ramen.
Modifying is a bit tricky in Japan compared to the States, so I was very, very thankful. And it was delicious. We then
I got legitimate ramen spots like an hour and a half away from where I live at.
We were
go get
exhausted
some.
from the trip so far. I haven't mentioned absolutely everything we'd been doing on the trip because it would be a lot of, first we did this and it was cool, then we did this and it was cool. Even though it was such a pleasure to be invited, I was so dead and definitely looked super not approachable or friendly to the rest of the group by the end of it. Sorry, guys, but neither time nor Japan stops for anyone, so we had to keep on chugging along. There were a bunch of friends we wanted to see while in Japan, and one of them was Connor. He wanted to take us to what he deemed his favorite Italian place ever. I asked if it was like fancy Italian, to which I was given the answer of no. So we get there having a great time, and
the Orange
suddenly
Orchard.
we realize Junichi Masuda, the director of
Whoa!
is there having dinner.
What?
Not a fancy dinner, my ass.
Did he
I then
plan
looked
that?
and see the Freddy Fazbear FNAF t-shirt that I am wearing. Not the best Jaiden moment to exist, but hey.
No
what can you do? The
way.
food was
They got to eat with
phenomenal,
Junichi
though. I already mentioned
Masuda.
the best ramen I've ever had while on the trip, but this was genuinely the best pasta I've ever had in my entire life. Maybe even a top 3 meals ever.
Okay, Orange
I don't
Orchard.
know what the other 2 would be, but that Connor
Gotta
place
write
is
that down.
definitely up there. The next day, we went to the One Piece store in Shibuya and bought a lot of stuff because there's a lot of topical and hype things in there, as you could imagine. If you don't
Gum
get
fruit.
it, go catch up and come back. Don't worry, it won't take too long. My favorite character.
Don't
is
go
Mihawk,
catch up if
but
you're
out of
nowhere near
all the
caught
stuff
up.
the store had to offer, there were only
It's a time
few
sink you're not ready
stickers
for.
and a single keychain from Mihawk. I'm still mauling about that one. I just want more Mihawk. Is that too much to ask for? Even
Nah.
this guy got better merch. The world's greatest swordsman deserves better. I guess I'll just take my Zoro and
World's
Law
greatest?
stuff. That's cool too, I suppose. I also found a bunch of Chikawa stuff in a Kittyland store, and this is truly when you get to see where things
Damn
start going
Chikawa,
downhill for
bruh.
me. I just like the funny little cartoon bear thing. What, is that such a crime? I don't remember what we did the rest of the day. I think we just crashed and passed out. This trip, as surreal as it's been so far, has been absolutely.
Y'all don't know what game this song is
taking a
from.
toll on me, and I desperately
Let me know.
needed to
I know.
not move or talk or exist for a bit. We were doing so many different things that were all awesome, and hanging out with so many different people that were all awesome. But man, I am not
I'm about to play
built
this
for
game again.
extended periods of that much excitement and socializing. As much as I would like to change this fact, I'm also not a very active person. I know. Up until this trip, I was practically sitting down 24/7, working all the time to prep as much work as possible so I could have a guilt-free 3 weeks off. And my muscles were definitely starting to decay at that point. I looked at my phone's step meter thing, and there was one day where I literally got 300 steps.
That's
pathetic.
nothing.
And
That is
suddenly,
absolutely
I'm walking
nothing.
over 20,000 daily. My body was screaming. What the hell are you doing out there? Please stop. Plus, we were in Japan during the hottest, most humid time of the year. Every time we left the air-conditioned luxury of a building, we would immediately be drenched.
I didn't know it got that hot over
I'm
there.
used to the heat. I grew up in Arizona, but even this was too much. So yeah,
Hotter than Arizona?
it was. Tokyo Disneyland.
Oh, hell
was
no.
A bit underwhelming. It felt like a
Tokyo
slightly
Disneyland?
worse version of the one in California because of the oddly spaced layout and surprisingly empty vibe. We did go to a Stitch-themed show thing, and as we were walking in, a worker stopped us and said, "Oh, excuse me, Stitch only speaks Japanese," like warning us it's not super tourist friendly. But I just think the statement of Stitch only speaks Japanese is hilarious. We went in anyway, and yep, Stitch only spoke Japanese.
Yep.
Yeah, overall, it was not the best thing we did, but apparently, I didn't know this, Japan has 2 Disneys, Disneyland and Disney Sea, and we went to Land, which is unanimously deemed the worst of the 2. So better luck next time. Jacob and I took 2
Damn, that
days where we
sucks.
just turned to ash. Then up and at 'em, back to Osaka we go. This time we went to
We'll go to see next time.
Besides Hatsune Miku, the Japanese band Eve is the only other concert I've said I wanted to go see. I love their music videos they have for all their songs. It's always such beautiful animation. And by the way, they're the ones who sang the season 1 Jujutsu Kaisen anime anime opening theme if you're lost.
Oh,
Jacob just so happened to look
didn't
up
know
if they were
that.
doing
Okay.
a concert while we were there, and lo and behold, they were. He got some totally not scalped tickets, which turned out to be a super complicated process. So thank you, Jacob. You're the bestest friend I've ever had. Thank you for going through the trenches for silly old me. Anyway, the concert was so incredible. The atmosphere was fantastic.
I
They
bet.
had awesome visual effects.
Did they perform the song? Hopefully they did. They have to. That song's
Perfectly
popular as hell at this
synced to
point.
the music and colors on the stage, which really enhanced the experience. The music was great, which, I mean, of course it was. That was the whole reason we went in the first place. I talk about it more in the upcoming Miku video, but Japanese encores are so much different from the American ones. They're so quiet and polite. There was pretty much no screaming and cheering. It was just a long applause with a semi-whisper chant of encore, encore. And they also made us wait like 5 minutes for them to come back out. My hands were getting itchy just from clapping so much. That's how long it took. And then when they finally came out, they ended up doing like 5 extra songs. I mean, I'm not
playing that.
But after the 4th time thinking, man, that was a great last extra song. Well, time to head home. Wait. Another? It starts getting a bit comedic. This is just a side tangent, but Jacob went off to use the bathroom before the show started and came back 10 minutes later like, dude, this is crazy, but it took me a bit longer to find a bathroom because there were so many extra women's bathrooms, which is like, whoa, that's actually so smart. There's always such a huge line for the women's bathroom compared to the men's in any scenario.
Because we're in and out of there.
And was like, okay, then we'll make more women's bathrooms to fit.
Never thought about that. That makes sense. That would make sense. It takes women longer to use the bathroom by nature of the mechanics behind using the bathroom for a woman. Man, we in and out of there. I can go into the bathroom, use it, wash my hands, and be out of there in a minute. Women is gonna take like 3 or 4, even if they're moving quick. So that would make more sense. Put more women bath, like have 1 or 2 men bathroom. I'm not talking about like for a concert area. I'm talking about like even in like a regular place. Put like 1 or 2 men's bathroom, like 3, 4, 5 women's bathroom. I think I said it backwards. Y'all get what I'm trying to say though. Damn it.
Any scenario. I was just shocked. Japan was like, okay, then we'll make more women's bathrooms to fix that problem. Like it was so simple. I know in America it would probably turn into a stupid political thing.
It would.
It made me so happy.
So
Japan
dumb.
just implemented such an obvious
That'd be so dumb, bro.
solution so easily for the gals. The next day we headed over to Universal.
Nothing wrong with that.
Hands down, the best amusement park I've ever been to. So Japan do amusement parks well. First of all, Universal Japan is way more anime and manga focused than the ones in the States, which made it instantly more engaging.
Yeah, it makes it more better.
We both agreed we would window shop for the first part of the day and then buy all the things we wanted as we were leaving so we wouldn't have to lug around a bunch of bags all day.
Okay, that makes sense.
We immediately saw a little one-piece shop and cracked. We just wanted to wear these one-piece headbands. That's rule-breaking worthy. We also got some towels because, surprise, surprise, it was freaking hot.
Yeah, hot as hell.
I know I've been complaining about the weather here and there, but my lord, it was miserably scorching. Japan has such a big culture around staying cool while outside, and I totally get it now. People would be walking around with little fans, ice packs, towels. A lot of women had parasols.
I didn't know this.
If we didn't get those towels, we probably could have.
So prepare for the high heat when I do go to Japan one day.
I ended up getting another towel. It was a cute Pikachu one, but I got it mainly because it was a cloak design. After soaking that thing in cold water and putting it on, my body temperature instantly lowered like 5 degrees.
Oh, wow.
However, that meant I was walking around the park looking like this.
Yeah.
To the awesome stuff. We did a bunch of attractions like watch a fun 4D Jujutsu Kaisen show where the seat went on a super cool 3D VR Spider-Man ride. We tried to cool down by going on a Minions thing called Freeze Ray sliders that claimed to cool riders down with a blast of chilled mist from a giant freeze ray. But we got on and absolutely did not even touch a drop of the mist because it never ended up getting in range of our cart. That was a tragedy at the time.
That'd be annoying.
Roller coasters we wanted to go on, but I get super motion sick and forgot to bring nausea medicine, so no roller coasters for us. but I shall return.
Damn.
One day. The park, of course, had a bunch of cool
I love
themed
roller coasters.
restaurants, one of them being a super cool One Piece restaurant. Did I mention
Oh
I like
my
One Piece?
God.
There also was a special Sanji one, but we didn't know you needed a reservation, so...
Oh, that's
It
pain.
was awesome, though. I love One Piece. After a few hours
They were
of
serving
rides
Sanji's
and
dishes
being
in there.
boiled
That'd be
alive,
fire.
We decided to fully cool off by going on the Jurassic Park ride. That's just giant splash mountain with dinosaurs.
So since she's a One Piece fan, she didn't really mention it, but I know there was Dragon Ball restaurants in there. That's where I'm living at, in the Naruto restaurants.
It started pouring rain. Now that's just not fair. I don't even understand how that happened, but whatever. We started buying all the stuff we window shopped for as we waited for the One Piece live show to begin. Again, please refrain from judging. I am being vulnerable and open here. By the way, as we were walking around, we stumbled on...
I would ask y'all what game this is from, but sure y'all know.
Out in a courtyard area. They played some fun little custom songs and had all these dancers alongside the mascot.
Hey.
And then out of nowhere, they started absolutely blasting the crowd with like gallons of water. I didn't even see it coming. It was like firefighters showed up to put out a giant fire, except the fire was a bunch of Japanese people. The time came and we got to file in for the special One Piece live show, and even though Jacob and I didn't understand a single part of it because it was all in Japanese, it was awesome, and the costume design was phenomenal. It was unfortunate though, because the seats were all in like a half circle formation around the stage. As much as they tried to make the show enjoyable from all angles, it was pretty hard to see the main things going on in the center. My only
Chopper all in the way
though is that Zoro didn't come to our side at all. All the other characters rotated around so we could see them, but Zoro only did it at the very end to take a bow. Also, being included would have been nice, but it's okay. By the time we got to enter Nintendo Land, it was like 9 p.m. We got up at 6 a.m. by the way, so we pretty much just rode the Yoshi's Island ride they don't have in the States and headed home because that's all the energy we had left. But even just seeing that, it was miles better than the one in the States. Also, we picked up a little dinner at the 7-Eleven near our hotel. 7-Eleven is actually awesome in Japan, by the way. And they have
I've heard
Chico plushie keychains.
Man, she bought the Chico stuff again, bro. I just want to go to Japan so bad, bro. Like even their convenience stores. This is dude I watch on YouTube every now and again, and he just goes to convenience stores in Japan because he lives in Japan, and he just goes there and just buys stuff and just like eats it for a video. Even the food they have in the convenience store, like the little side food, the little snack stuff. Even that stuff looks like dope, bro. It's like way better. We got, over here, you go to a convenience store, you get hot dogs, nachos with stale cheese. Nobody want none of that. Bruh, I want to go. I'm gonna go one day. I got to.
Just being transparent here. We woke up early the next morning to catch our flight back to Tokyo and hurried over to the Kirby Cafe. Emily actually booked the reservation for us. She was meant to also be there, but she was only able to get 2 seats and gave them to us
she let y'all have it.
Emily, I will always be indebted to you.
That was
for
so
your
nice.
sacrifice. The cafe itself was so well decorated with all these little Kirby things, and the menu was adorable. I got the star curry and a magical little fruity drink with a Kirby marshmallow that triggered my acute aggression. Jacob got the pizza and a Kirby burger, but since he made modifications, the staff asked him to not post a picture of the burger to the public. Like, they didn't know he was a content creator or anything. I guess they just didn't want the public to see a naked Kirby burger.
Yeah.
We also both got desserts.
You one of them people who takes all the fixings off a burger? Come on, man.
The presentation was beautiful. It was
Carby
art on a plate. Taste-wise, it was decent. The body was some
places in America don't go this hard.
Crazy about, but the rest was tasty. I did my best, but he ended up looking like he was in a horrific accident when I threw in the towel. The cafe also has a special little private store connected to it.
Oh.
And yeah, what you expect happened definitely happened. We
bought more stuff.
Full bellies and bags, continued to look around the shopping center the cafe was connected to, and ended up walking into a Gacha store. I am about to be very vulnerable with
Don't do it.
This is one of the lowest points of my entire life.
Oh no, you did it.
Please don't think too much less of me after what happened in that Gacha store. So I walk in, spot Chikawa, beeline it to the machine, obviously. Like I mentioned before, I'm only interested in Chikawa, so I was only playing for him. But by the cursed luck of the Gacha gods,
of course,
I just could not get him. I was going back and forth
between
the machine and the coin exchange, getting multiples of every other little guy, but
Gacha is so trash because it is.
Glances at me, probably because the desk they were standing behind was right next to the machine I was grinding. But after way too much money, he dropped. I got my well-earned horribly priced at that point, Chikawa.
And then the thing about it is, after all of that work, after all of that grind, after all of that effort, all of that money that you put into getting it, you feel a feeling of elation. And then it sinks in that the feeling of elation that you're feeling isn't because you got the thing you were looking for. It's because the painful grind is over. And then you're gonna look at the thing and be like, this was not at all worth it. It's never worth it in Gacha. And if you don't win right away, get super lucky and win right away, or at least early, it's never worth it, bro. You get it eventually, and then you're just like, why did I do this? Like, you immediately get buyer's remorse. All of the buyer's remorse. Like every single bit of buyer's remorse you can get, it just funnels right into you at the same time. As much as she was loving Chikawa on this trip, I guarantee you she regrets spending all that money on this thing. But then again, Jaiden, she got money. So, you know what I'm saying? Maybe she don't regret it as much as other people would regret it.
I then started looking at all the other machines, putting some coins in a few here and there, until I stopped at one that had a line of animals playing band instruments.
And now you want all four.
Very silly. But there was a little pigeon holding up cymbals, and I really wanted to get him for Jordan and Kelsey.
Oh,
in went the coins.
Here we go.
Tiger, elephant, fox.
4-star.
It was happening again. Everything except the one I wanted.
Yeah.
Which I know more or less that's the luck with gachas, but it was getting to the point where I was getting surprised the pigeon was dodging me as much as it was. Literally the next one. What? Eventually, I had to go back to the coin exchange, and as I was about to put in more money, I saw out of the corner of my eye one of the workers peek out and take a look in horror at all the gachapons that were sitting at the top of my bag. They then raised up their hand and said something in Japanese while shaking their head, and I knew in my heart I was being cut off. No,
damn.
Please, I can stop whenever.
They told her she's not allowed to anymore.
The pigeon is next. I can feel it. Why do you look afraid? What's under the desk?
Oh.
I got kicked out of a gacha store. I had hit an all-time.
Wow.
I told my friends, and they said they probably just thought I was gonna try and resell them, but I don't even know if that would even make it sound better, knowing I was getting so many that they thought I was robbing them blind. I just wanted my Chikawa and pigeon with cymbals. We made dinner plans that night with a friend, and we were just about to grab a taxi and head back to freshen up, but Jacob and
that
I
is
caught
hilarious.
sight of a fun anime and goodies shop.
Hey, look at Goku over there.
People with self-control?
No.
We'll make it quick. We rushed in and split up for optimization. As I was looking around, I saw it. A whole section dedicated to Chikawa. It was like someone put a freshly baked pie on a window.
What is Chikawa from? Why is she all over the place?
Zoned in, making sure I saw every single thing possible, putting Chikawa after Chikawa in the basket. Jacob eventually came over and showed me a picture he took on his phone. In my tunnel vision, all my eyes registered was that the picture showed more Chikawa in the store. I immediately went feral. Where? Jacob's eyebrows went up in surprise and maybe a bit of fear. And as I looked at the photo again, I realized Jacob wasn't showing me a picture of a different Chikawa section. He was showing me a picture of me at the current Chikawa section I was standing in because he thought it was funny. And in my Chikawa brain rot, I didn't even register I was in the picture.
You just seen Chikawa.
Chikawa and went obsessive. This is how I am. Either stand by me or leave.
Chica Anonymous.
Intervention, put it away. We left. I looked longingly at the crane machine Chica we didn't have time for. For dinner. Plus, we ended up in another arcade nearby anyway, and I got myself a Chikawa from one of those machines.
Okay.
Stop. I don't want to hear it. Finally, we were reaching the end
of our dawn of the final day.
The last day grabbing lunch with Emily and Didus. There was a cool One Piece scavenger hunt event going on.
You know they're gonna go to that.
Cat with them. We basically had to walk around Shibuya and find special One Piece trading card posters hidden around the area. And if we found enough, along with the special card of the day, we could get a limited edition mystery card. It was fun, but also hot. My clothes were sticking to my body. Didus generously let me borrow his umbrella, and I jumped for joy as he showed me it was coincidentally Chikawa themed.
Wow!
I don't know what's wrong with
Give me your umbrella.
Because that bear makes me happy. We spent a few hours completing the scavenger hunt, got our special cards, and bid them farewell. Always good to see you guys. Bye-bye.
That's hilarious, bro. She got the umbrella.
I accidentally stole Digest's umbrella.
Accidentally, huh?
You know how much I was obsessed with Chikawa. They've been watching my Instagram stories. Follow if you want to see brain rot in real time. Emily, I have the Chikawa umbrella. I didn't mean to steal it. I promise. It's not what it looks like. Since we were leaving in the morning and wouldn't be seeing them again, they just let me keep it.
It's yours now.
Side-eye Jacob gave me the rest of the way back.
Yeah, like, okay, was it an accident?
Didn't mean to, stop it! Getting back
Yeah,
to
okay.
the apartment, reality hit us hard. We needed just a few
More suitcases.
more suitcases.
Yeah.
Again. In total, we ended up buying 6 extra suitcases.
Damn.
To hold everything we collectively bought. And even then, it was a struggle making it fit. Jacob ended up doing professional Tetris
Some
mode,
Tetris action.
perfectly fitting everything into the suitcases with quite literally no extra room to spare. We came to Japan each with a backpack, carry-on, and 1 extra big suitcase. And we're leaving with altogether 8 suitcases and 4 backpacks. We were lucky
Goodness.
the taxi driver had a big enough car to fit everything because we didn't have much of a game plan if it didn't. Off
Right.
to the airport we went where we checked all of our excessive bags, paid a couple fees, boarded our flight, and headed home. That trip will go down as one of the best trips.
There's a lot of
I've
music from
ever
that game.
gone on. It felt like it turned into a celebration of everything that makes me me. All of my hobbies.
Yeah,
and
hey, man.
interests, Pokemon. One
All of that
Piece,
makes it
and the last
unforgettable.
minute Chikawa. We got to do so many incredible things and were given so many opportunities I'd never even thought I could be a part of. I got
Yeah.
to see so many friends that are normally so far away, ate some of the best meals of my life, and overall,
I'm sure.
really happy, especially getting to spend it all with my best friend Jacob. By the way, if you wanted to know why in the world we got so many things, yes, a lot of it was for us. 90% of it all was for our friends.
Okay.
100% of the Chikawa stuff was mine, but that's besides the point. If you want to see what we got them, also credit where credit is due. The majority of it all was from Jacob because he's a great gift giver and even more incredible friend to the people around him. We're
Okay.
all nothing short of lucky to be able to call him our friend. You can go watch
Shout out
the
Alpharad.
video. I assume
Oh, you made
it's
one too?
already up because we had to animate a freaking 30-minute long video. My God, it was a lot. Thanks for sticking around.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I just
Are you talking
had
about
an
hers?
unforgettable trip, and I owe the opportunity to the Pokemon Company for inviting us to Japan in the first place. I'm extremely.
I don't think I'll
lucky
react
be
to
in the
his, but I'll probably
position
go
I
over and
am,
watch it.
And we'll be forever grateful.
Hey, that was a dope story time about her trip to Japan. That is a lifetime experience, bruh. Most people don't even get to travel outside the country, let alone their one favorite vacation destination. Japan is where I want to go more than any other place in the world, bruh. And I would only hope to have the experience that she had. I won't be able to buy all the stuff she buys unless I, make it big as a YouTuber before then or something like that. But I just want to go. Definitely want to go for 2 to 3 weeks and just be there, bro. Like just walk around the city. Like when I was, like I said, I watched Dashy's Japan vlogs. Just walking around the city and looking at stuff, not even the parts where he was buying things, was just like, yo, this is like crazy. Like it's so different over there in certain parts of the cities. And I just want to experience it, bro. I got to. Before this life is over, I got to experience Japan, bro. Gotta go over there, man. But yo, that is gonna do it for this video, man. Hope y'all enjoyed watching it as much as I did. Again, had to talk over the video for a lot of times because I didn't want to, I didn't want to pause too much. The video already long as hell. This reaction right here, I'm at the 39-minute mark right now. So this 32-minute video, so I still paused and talked for a good amount of time. That's crazy. But hey, man, I'm about to go ahead and get up out of here. Make sure y'all show a lot of love to the video, like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, we up out of this thing. This your boy Dairu, we signing out. Peace.